Hey friends, welcome back to Mom Likely. Thanks so much for stopping by with us today. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to take you along today on our first day of what's going to be our new Sunday routine. So I sat down and I crafted out what is it that we can get done together to clean as a family on Sundays. So me and both girls, I'm pretty much just guiding them through what their chores are and then trying to also stay on task with mine. But they're going to be cleaning their rooms, taking care of their room chore routine, cleaning the upstairs bathroom, and working on their own laundry. I gotta tell you, when I wrote all this down on paper, I was like, oh, this isn't gonna be that much. I think we can do this relatively quickly together. But when I sat down and we really got into it, it was an all-day affair. So on one end, we were just starting out, so things obviously were more disorganized and needed a little bit more help this current week. But hopefully moving forward in the coming weeks, we'll get it done a little bit faster. But literally our only goal for this Sunday was to just work on this routine and have dinner and work together. So I hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and come along and clean with us. As part of my job for the Sunday routine, I decided we're going to do a crock pot dinner every Sunday. And so that's just so we can just kind of get through it quickly, you know. So I'm making Mississippi pot roast, and this is all you need for it. It's just pepperoncinis, au jus, gravy, a ranch packet of seasoning and butter, and then a 2 to 4 pound roast. And of course, your crock pot. Now, I had a big jar of pepperoncinis, but a regular standard size will do and you'll use the whole thing. But since I had the large one, I just pulled out a 1.5 cups worth of the juices and put them down in here. You want to mix that up with your seasoning packets, the 2 packets. And then if you like, you're welcome to add like onions, mushrooms, or any kind of peppers and things. But the kids already didn't like those things, so I didn't put them in here. The star of this is definitely the pepperoncinis being spicy. So the Mississippi version of pot roast has a kick to it. I seared my roast in a little bit of oil. I just did a little bit on each side to brown it. And then you're just going to throw it in the crock pot for about, I would say mine took like about 5 hours. On high, but you know the standard is, you know, you're either doing 4 to 6 on high or you're doing 6 to 8 on low. It just depends on yours, but mine was done in about 5 hours and this was probably like 2.5 pounds. So lastly, I'm just putting some pepperoncinis on top with a stick of butter and closing this up, and we're gonna get started. The plan for Sunday is for them to do about 5 things: clean their room all the way, empty trash, do their own laundry entirely, tidy the closet, clean the bathroom. So with that, I also put on their living room and kitchen. So basically that would be when we're all working on it together. We were so tired from everything we did this day, we didn't get to everything entirely, but moving forward, I would like to do all this and then have their help and just have us 3 collectively work on cleaning the kitchen and the living room together. So that way there's a day in the week where like the whole upstairs is done, the whole living room and kitchen is done, and like we just kind of all work together. Don't mind that table back there with stuff on it. I still haven't gotten rid of this. I just haven't had it in my heart to throw it out. So I'm still waiting to like donate the table. But anywho, I digress. So we're moving on into Jordan's room. Yes, it's pretty bad, but it's whatever. We're in here, right? You've seen now here, I've been in here quite a few times and this just happens quickly. It's a her thing, but it's whatever. That's why we're working on it and we're gonna come do it together. I was really excited and determined to get this done on this Sunday too, because during this week on Tuesday, Jordan was actually leaving to science camp, and it was really cute. We had to pack up all her clothes and do her laundry and make sure she had everything. We were setting things aside as we did that for camp. And just real quick, I'll just touch on that. So like, I was so nervous to let her go to camp. Like, I can't even tell you how bad I didn't want her to go. So it started off with, she's obviously new to the school because, we just moved to this area. So she kind of really wasn't like keen on wanting to go so far away with people whom she really didn't know that well. So she's like, no, I don't want to go. So here's the paper from school, but I don't want to go. So I said, okay. And then like a week and a half went by, and then she was like, I might want to go to that camp. She's like, I don't know. The teacher said I should go and it'll be fun, but I don't know. And then she came back a couple days later and was like, hey, there's an informational meeting. We should go to it and see what it is, and let's see about it. And then after the meeting, she's like, yeah, I really want to go. Like, I think it's going to be so much fun. She loves outdoors and nature and exploring and like adventure. So it was going to be like right up her alley. And she was going to be able to like hold random reptiles and stuff. So she really wanted to go do this. So I was like, okay. So we put the money up and she's going to camp now. And I was like still super, super nervous because I didn't want her to be so far away from home for so long alone. I felt weird about her going with strangers. And I'm just like a blanket mom when it comes to a lot of this stuff, where I just have a hard time letting go in this sense. And I know overall it can be a good thing because we have to keep our children safe. But I'm somebody that has a lot of travel anxiety. I have a really hard time being away from home. I can say all the times in the world that like, oh, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go there. But like at the end of the day, I do have a lot of travel anxiety about it, being away from home and then having to deal with, the dogs being babysat, and then my vision in crowds and all that kind of stuff. So usually it's just not super enjoyable when I try to think about going on a trip away from home. But I also don't want to put my fears on my kids. So she wanted to go, and she kind of got over her own fear and decided she wanted to go. So I really wanted to give her the opportunity to go and enjoy herself and experience that for herself without me placing, my anxiety and my fears on her to grow up with. I think a lot of mine also have to do with the fact that I went on a Girl Scout trip when I was around her age, and we had tornado watches, and we were camping in tents and alone, and I really wasn't close with anybody there, and it was during a really traumatizing time in my life where I was kind of like sent off alone. And although it was supposed to be a really good experience, it just turned out really bad, and I think it traumatized me a lot when it comes to thinking about the fun that you can have when traveling. So I just wanted her to be able to go off and experience that for herself, and I'm really glad I did. And I know she had a really great time. I hope so. I'm picking her up today as I'm doing this voiceover, so I can't wait to hear all about it and see how she felt. And it was really cool too because there wasn't electronics, so we didn't get to talk to her in this time, and she didn't get to cry to me and stuff. She had to go off and be strong on her own and have a good time. And like I kept referring to it as her vacation, which it was, but we all really miss her and we can't wait for her to get home. I know relinquishing, the clutches on our kids can be really hard, but sometimes in those instances, it's really good for their own personal development and personal learning. And, we always have that fear in the back of our mind, but we got to have faith that our kids will be safe and kept. And I really did. And it was also a test for myself to not freak out and still enjoy my time while she was gone as well and not be a ball of nerves. And it worked out really well. So I'm super glad that, I let her go. And I'm appreciative that we were able to get her in this camp and we could afford it. And I think she had a really great time. It's so funny because you see, no sooner we're pretty much already done with cleaning the room and we're putting on the finishing touches, she's already on to the next thing that she wants to play with, and it's some sort of craft. So she's been bead crazy lately. She's just been making a ton of beaded jewelry. Like half of her arm is filled with bracelets over the last couple of days. So she really gets into that. But we got rid of a lot of trash out of here, and I pretty much just left the counter, not the counter, but the desktop and her little stand to her to do stuff with. I just got the trash off it and that, but we got the room cleaned up, and I think this is definitely acceptable for a Sunday clean. So you see, we got pretty much all this stuff done, and now we're going to move on to her doing her laundry, which she was not that happy about, but she doesn't mind it overall. She was like, I don't know how to use the washer. I'm like, well, you can learn today, girl. So let's get going. The one thing that she had a hard time with, though, is when it came time to switch the laundry. She obviously couldn't reach the bottom of the washing machine. So I do need to go out and get another stool because I had to go get one from another part of the house. And I really hate that. I'd rather just have one in the spaces of the house where you need one, because it just, it eliminates that friction of needing to do it. And I don't need to step in and do it for her. She'll be able to do it by herself. So I'm going to pick up another one of those. But yeah, I don't know. She did everything. She got it in there. She ended up having not a lot of clothes in her basket. So I ended up having her wash her blanket with her clothes too, and that worked out. The only stipulation that I tried to tell them when it comes to them doing their own laundry is I just asked them not to wash their shower towels with their clothing, because it just creates too much discrepancy when it comes time to dry and create static. And I want the towels washed, on really hot altogether. But otherwise, I'm like, you guys can have the freedom to do your laundry on Sunday. I need you to do that, and it's going to be a huge help. So we're going to work on that. I just bought those huge jugs from Sam's Club, so I'm just going to refill these small ones, so it's also easier for them to do the laundry on their own. Yay! So if you didn't know, Savannah is a musician, so she's totally a drummer. So all day she's just up here banging on the sticks and playing with the drum pads and stuff. And she's in lessons in that, and she plays songs and stuff. So she just has that junk like all over her dresser. But really, I mean, it's really not that bad in here. But I told her to just move some stuff and wipe it down. I did end up getting them a new Mrs. Meyer's spray that I got. That was one of their holiday scents. It was the Snowdrop one. I really wanted the peppermint one, but they didn't have the spray. So I just got them the soap. But anywho, they're just using microfiber cloths to wipe down all this stuff and straighten up. It was really cool actually hanging out with her in here and cleaning. Here's our puppy, Connor. Little stinker. He's always up our butts when we're doing stuff. But it was really fun, and I like a lot of her music and stuff, so we had a good time listening to music and hanging out together and all that. And it was a really good, fun time. And although we kind of do that, it was a little bit different, you know, when I'm like on top of them to do things and not just telling them to do things. And this is more kind of like how I used to do it when they were younger. Now I kind of bounce around quite a bit as I'm doing things and they're older and can kind of do it alone. So on this day and in this instance with the routine, it's like I'm right there next to them. And it's kind of like more of a bonding experience as opposed to like me being in the other room. Now, don't get me wrong. So she was working on her laundry here. And while she was doing that, I was like, okay, Jordan, let's start on the bathroom, because I didn't want to just only do one thing at a time either. So for the bathroom, Jordan was excited about this. She actually thinks it's quite fun, especially when we're kind of all doing it together. And it does help to, you know, solidify and, you know, paint everybody's job and role in the household, which I really like. But on this day, so she went for toilets and tub, and the other job in here was going to be floors, trash, and counters. So she opted for toilets and tubs. So she went ahead and cleaned that, and she cleaned the bathtub. Now, I had just recently deep cleaned this bathtub when I did the bathroom cleaning, which was great because I don't want them cleaning with bleach, specifically because you see she's like all up in here. So she's just using Dawn Blue dish soap, and that's a really great way for them to help me do maintenance cleaning, is just by using something that acts as a wiping agent or a degreasing agent, and then I'll actually go in with the harsh stuff. So now in the toilet they can use the chemicals on that, but unless they're putting on gloves and stuff and all that, like I just kind of prefer that they don't go into the harsh chemicals. But she was kind of picking up a few of her things to prepare for Savannah to clean, and then Savannah went through and scrubbed everything down. Now, even though this was taking us a long time, and I'm sorry if the camera is quite shaky, but I was following them around to do this in real time. So I was just trying to capture what I could because I didn't want to make it any more torturous for them than it had to be, being that I was filming our routine. But nonetheless, it did take like the whole day to get all this done, but they did take quite a bit of breaks and hung out and did some studies and then listened to music and whatever else. But we did stay diligent on this, and I was really proud of us for doing that. But it was a lot of work, so I hope next time we won't have as much to clean, at least for me, because we had a big job in Jordan's room, and then we kind of had like a lot of trash and stuff to empty. So hopefully next week it'll be a little easier. The one thing that I have noticed that we're struggling with that I need to be better about is getting the dirty laundry basket put back into this bathroom once it's been emptied. I just have to get better at that in general, so that way we can keep more of the dirty clothes off this bathroom floor and I can just have my rug down, because between their basket, and then if there's stuff in here, it gets forgotten. So that's the one thing I got to work on getting back up here to prevent mess. I mean, overall, the routine is just basically, you know, like preventative care, you know, but we're doing good. So they did a really amazing job with cleaning everything up, and now it's time to get the laundry switched up. Jordan was going to go ahead and switch her laundry, and I was showing her how to empty the lint trap section and put that back. Now, if her room wouldn't have taken us so long, I actually would have started them off by starting with their laundry, but we had to like get her clothes out of her room and all that. So on this particular Sunday, we just started with cleaning the room, but next week I would like to start with having their laundry getting done while we're doing the process. That way they don't have to wait till so late in the day to get their laundry done. And I'm able to do a load of laundry if I need to as well. But she got her stool, and she's going to go ahead and switch her laundry, and then Savannah's going to come in and she's going to start her laundry. It was at this time when I realized it was getting pretty late, and we were also getting pretty hungry. Dinner was getting ready to be done. So I wanted to clean up the kitchen because we got started on this and I made this my priority. So I set aside my morning routine on this day so we could just pretty much get right into it. We did take a break and we didn't start, I think, until probably like 11:30ish or something. Because obviously, you know, it was a weekend as well. So I didn't want to jump right into it. but it was pretty late at this point. So it was kind of at this point when I was like, I don't know if we're going to even be able to get to the living room. I was like, let's just finish out all of this. And they were kind of hanging out and finishing up what they had to do. I had them take out all the trash and then we ate dinner. But I wanted to get some things done for myself on this day as well. So I made sure I cleaned up the entryway, got the kitchen cleaned up, and I did still want their help in here. So since they still needed to work on folding up their laundry and that, I was like, I'll just clean up and then somebody can help me with the floors. And so Jordan decided she was going to help me with the floors on this day. I was looking around after cleaning and I'm just like, man, I can't wait to put out my Christmas decorations. I decided to keep it a little bit lighter this year. But as I was thinking about this, like, I literally sat down. It took me a couple days to craft this routine, and I drew up cards that I can refer to each day. And I have a morning routine drafted up that I've been following for a few days at this point. But I've just been making like life the priority right now. And so I haven't been leaning into the holiday things. I was like, you can't keep putting all this stuff off to the new year. You can't keep waiting for a certain, time point to make a change. And the time is now, and now is the time and the best time that you can have and the time that's guaranteed. So that's kind of what I've been leaning into right now. As I said, though, over on social, it's like, I really had it in my brain where like I was just going to become this superwoman overnight, and I was just going to be like, yeah, gung ho. And like, this is the new routine for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's really hard to have a new routine. Like, it literally takes steps because the routine itself isn't the problem. The problem is the practice, and that's showing up again and again and deciding what needs done. And every day is different. Every mess is different. And so I was like, sometimes I'm not going to be able to get everything done on that card. And so that kind of made me reevaluate what's going on. Now, obviously, I need to have less stuff per day as I get better and better. I think the house will be cleaner. But starting out, I was like, you're not going to be able to accomplish everything on that card starting out, and you're going to have to accept that. That doesn't mean that you're not capable of the routine. That doesn't mean that the routine is too much. It just means that we have to practice, because when you practice things, whether that be in your house, your work, your career, for yourself, we get more efficient over time, and we understand on how to be better with our time management and all that. So I'm not going to write it off as of yet, but I had to give myself a little bit of grace that I couldn't go ahead and take care of it. And here's Ash taking care of the mess for me that I dropped. That's the best part about having dogs. It's like, where can you get bugs from when the dogs are always eating everything? But at this point, the dinner was done. It was about to be 5 o'clock. So I went ahead and I shredded up my roast and I started my mashed potatoes. I wanted to wait so they could be fresh, and James was getting ready to be home. So I did that. The kids, they weren't super fond of it because it was a little bit spicy, but they still ate some of it and ate the potatoes. So I was like, that's cool. I also was putting this dog food in this clean container. So the dog food got all over the kitchen floor. I was literally waiting to put this into this trash can because I was like, I'm going to film the video and I'll put it in there when I do the video. And then like 3 days had gone by and it wasn't in there yet. So it's like harder to get the food in and out of the bag hole as opposed to opening the top on the container. So that's how this dog food kind of got all over the place, because typically they wouldn't leave this dog food all over the floor like this. So that's kind of what happened here. This year though, girl, I just want to run a tighter ship. I just need things to get right. Like over on my socials, I started a 15-minute workout every single day, and I've been working out every single day for 15 minutes. And even if it's minimal effort, it's better than doing nothing. And so I'm like really trying to commit to that for this whole year and seeing what I can do for myself, just to gain momentum on my little health journey and try to lose some weight and, change my composition a bit, especially being home more. But yeah, overall, just cooking more, working out, following a routine. That's kind of where my headspace is right now, just trying to get better at time management, and not just like, doing the job, but being better at it. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to get better at it. And it's time for everybody to help me a little bit more too. Like, nobody's been wrong about that. But being that I have a cleaning channel, like I've always just had it in my brain where I need to do it. And then like, if my house is completely clean as well, I don't feel like that's very motivating as well. But I hope you guys continue to enjoy as I take you along as we work our way through this routine. I'm sure the mess isn't going to end because we still have dogs and kids, unless I can kick them out, then, I'm pretty much stuck. But We'll see how it goes. This is how the dinner turned out. It looks really good. Everybody sat down to eat together, which I loved, at our nice table. And I was feeling really accomplished, you know. I felt like that woman. You know what I'm saying? Here's my little cookbook I've been displaying up here. I've been filling this in a little bit at a time. Every time I try something new and trying to fill in our recipes as well. I'm determined to get this cookbook filled up with the things that we like and things that work that I can refer to. Because I'm also tired of, you know, you get where you want a meal or a recipe and you get on your phone and then you get sidetracked scrolling on your phone, looking through other recipes. And it's like, you know what? I want to cook something and want to go in my cookbook, and there it is. And then like I can save myself that scroll time. And of course, after we ate, we went ahead and cleaned everything up, and Jordan came in for the win to help me finish up the floors. My cookbook made me think about it, but I'm also going to start the girls a little life binder that they can have full of a few things I want them to have. I'm still trying to craft that. I got the, the page protectors, and I just have to get a cord for my printer. I can't print anything currently because I broke my power cord, so I have to find another one of those, and then I'll be back in business with trying to do printing projects. But I want to make them a little thing, and hopefully, you know, they can learn to be the most efficient people that they can be as well. Because they're definitely not lazy, and they're definitely willing, and they're definitely capable. Even just a little at a time and learning, like, they're not throwing super fits over doing stuff, you know. They're just kids and they just need guidance in that. But my kids definitely do stuff, and I'm really excited to craft this routine with them because it's actually really fun. And it's also like that thing, like, well, what's mom doing? Like, oh, mom's doing like this stuff, and like now they can see what I'm doing, you know. And like I know they know what I'm doing, but it's kind of different when, you know, it's kind of like, oh, well, what's mom been doing all day? Like, we're not really hanging out today. And like, hey, guess what? This is what we've been doing all day together, you know. So that's been kind of cool. Especially with like my teen, because she's always just kind of doing her own thing in her own world, doing her little games, and she's on the phone with people. Jordan, she kind of hangs out more because she's still younger, and she really likes to cook, so she's always like up for helping in those kind of areas. But I'm excited to get her more involved with this because she is both of my kids are pretty much like want to do their own thing. So I hope that this will help craft many things, you know, many things go into this, as I'm sure many of you know. But yeah, so overall, it was a really long day for this routine. This is our new family Sunday routine. I do hope you enjoyed coming along today to see this whole little process with us. If you're new here, I'd love to have you subscribe and hang around. And if you like this kind of content and can relate, I have lots of other cleaning my kids' rooms videos that are pretty extreme that I'm sure you'd get a lot of motivation from if that's your thing. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and follow me over on socials to keep up with me a little bit in the week. And I hope you have a really great week ahead. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.